Hello, thrifting friends. Katie here from the Homespun Hydrangea blog and channel. I was in my local thrift store today and I saw some really cute things, and I thought I have not done a video in a long time. So I thought I would start recording, and that gives me a great chance to check in on you guys and see how everyone is doing. So I will show you guys kind of what I found on this trip. I know it has been a minute. So someone donated a bunch of salt and pepper shakers, and they did have some neat old ones. Unfortunately, there was nothing that caught my eye, but I did want to show them to you guys because it's always fun when whole collections like that get donated. The animal thrift store that I really love going to, that's where they give their proceeds to local animal charities and rescues. They've had some great estate pieces lately. They've had a ton of just like silver plate and pottery and those types of things that are really fun to rummage through. They use they price very well. They price very reasonably, and they also run regular sales, which makes it one of my favorite places to swing into. They have a little kitchen area section, and I grab these little molds every time I see them. These are really big amongst crafters who do any type of vintage crafting and assemblage art. So I was able to snag this bag for a few bucks, and that is something that I will go ahead and resell because those little molds do very well. I've been looking for a lot of 1980s stuff lately. There seems to be a really great demand for it. These are some of the old kind of 80s and 90s stickers, and I loved it because if you flipped it over on the back, you could fill out a card for a sticker club, which I feel like stuff like that just isn't around anymore. Little premiums and stuff like that that you can send for. I like coming on Tuesdays to this shop because all of their linens are half off, and just about everything they have is priced $4 or less. So it's a chance to get a really great deal. I did like that quilt. I'm always looking for Afghans, quilts, vintage tablecloths, things like that. I can use these when I do my markets or in crafting. And also linens, vintage linens, depending on the print, tend to have a great resale value. So I always keep that in mind. They did have this drawer of doilies, 99 cents each. With the discount, it would make them about 50 cents each. I will snag these if I find them in different colors because I feel like the colorful ones go more for more than the white ones do these days. It looks like somebody also donated their Barbie collection or Barbie ornament collection. I don't know a whole lot about these. I know some are more rare than the others. But for the most part, you're only going to get a few dollars for these. They're more for just collectors, someone that's going to appreciate them for what they are. It looks like they also had quite a few little children's tea sets, which I thought were so precious. Some of these were made in China, but some were made in Japan. And just the thought of a little girl using these for tea time with her dolls is just adorable. I do love the old metal sets. Usually they're by a company called Ohio Art. So I did like this little metal set. They were little sunflower plates and little saucers, but unfortunately it did not have cups with it. Looks like a bunch of elephants. I was always told if the elephant trunk is facing up, then that means it's good luck. So it's good luck to have elephant figurines in your house as long as their trunk is facing upward. Here's an old Light Bright. I had one of these when I was little. I absolutely adored it. And you can also see just a couple little vintage toys there. But oh, Light Brights, I could have spent hours playing with ours when we were little. And it looks like they had just a couple other little kind of 1980s-ish kids' toys. This little yacht here, which I thought was adorable. I did like the old chef spoon rests. They had $5 each on those. And this is, I believe, made in Taiwan, the Uncle Sam Bank. So you're probably saying, okay, so what did you buy? I actually ended up grabbing this metal display. I think it was $12.99, and I believe today I got 20% off. But I thought that would be beautiful for not only when I do my markets, but for my own table to put some saucers on and display things on. I also bought this beautiful, never used, very mid-century modern pineapple towel, which I thought was just great. I mean, it was in impeccable condition. Colors are fantastic. And then while I was looking around, I also did find some saucers. These were actually 75% off. So I got this whole stack of saucers for next to nothing. And they fit perfectly in that stand that I just showed you. So I can use that for appetizers or just to put decor pieces on for a tea party, which I keep saying I'm going to have, and I have yet to. But it's going to make for a really frugal display. I always look at the cards too, because some of the cards are just hilarious. And I'm sure they had great intentions at the time, but some of them are just really funny, like that poodle one you just saw. But I do like grabbing these. Their cards are 59 cents each, I believe. And so I always keep them on hand, and when I have occasions that I need to send cards out. So that's what I got at the animal thrift. Heading over to Goodwill. This trip was a little bit painful. I'm having a tougher and tougher time finding things at Goodwill, not even just for resale, but just for myself, because the prices are getting really high. And I don't think as many people are donating to our Goodwills because it just seems like shelves are kind of empty most days. I thought this little skunk salt and pepper shaker set was cute. Unfortunately, it was pretty busted up. They wanted $3.99 for those. I believe they wanted $6.99 for that little teapot. But it just lately has been just kind of run-of-the-mill stuff. There's really not even been a lot to look at, which is the hard part for me. I mean, I can usually go in and I'm out within 45 seconds. I'm not kidding. Because there's just not much stuff. And, for like baskets, I can get these at the Goodwill bins. I can usually get them for around 50 cents, and they have them $3.99, $6.99 there. Something like this, which I'm not even sure what that thing was. I was trying to figure it out. I think they had $6.99 on that. Just some old pipe or streamers, $4.99. I still peek because I'm still, I believe that there's probably still good deals out there, and there's always things I need for the home. But you are hard pressed to find anything under $3.99 and $6.99. I mean, and I get so bummed because the clothing, as you can see, that one had a massive stain on it. I think they still wanted $8.99 for that dress. So it's just been kind of discouraging shopping in Goodwill. I still peek because you never know. But I'm really liking other thrift stores these days, or the Goodwill bins, where you pay by the pound, because I can get a much, much better deal that way than I can at most of my local Goodwill stores. So you can see in this trip, it is, there's at least some stuff to look through. I always do like looking for old board games because I love some of the old board game graphics and playing cards and things like that. My resale booth does well with old board games, and I think people use the boards to decorate a lot. So if I see a cute one here and there, I will grab it. I did like this little find. There was, it was a big mug collection that I got to go through at the second Goodwill that I stopped at, and you can see this one had a little bit more. They have a lot of figurines, but they really had some. There's, I think, Prince Andrew. They had some mugs. There was a little Fiesta mug. I thought this one was really cute. Their coffee mugs are $1.99 though, so I have to be pretty in love with it to grab it. When you're used to buying mugs, at garage sales and stuff so cheap, it's hard to pay $2 a piece for them. I did grab this. This is a Queen Elizabeth coronation cup. It's pottery, and it does have damage. You can see some crazing at the bottom, but I thought that was really neat. So for $1.99, I did grab that, and it came home with me. There were a lot of little interesting pieces, rough shape, missing, tops to them or pears and things like that. But I did grab those couple of things. I went over to the books because Goodwill still has their children's books for 79 cents, which I think is a great price. I did get this Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Old Golden book. It was in really nice shape. And I was trying to see down in there because if you look on the back page, you can find the letter at the bottom and it will tell you what edition it is. So if it's an A, it's a first edition. So I do like looking through their books because 79 cents is still a really great price to me to find some oldies. Looking at the wall art, looks like some unusual wall art that looks like possibly like the Saint Bernadette story with the little children and the Blessed Mother possibly. They did have some nice pieces, but their prices were a little bit high. I want to say on that mirror, I think they had $20. You see a lot of the kind of Hobby Lobby art now, but most of their pictures start, at $9.99 and up these days. So again, it has to be something I'm really in love with or that I find really unusual for it to come home with me. So there you guys have it. Let's take one more look at that mirror. I looked at it pretty good. I really debated it for a minute because I thought even $20, it's not a terrible price. But alas, it stayed behind. So that was a quick one, as they tend to be. Thank you guys for letting me drop back in and say hello. I've enjoyed visiting with you. I hope everyone is well, and until we talk again, happy thrifting.